Okay, guys, let's hope I don't make this too boring for everyone. Hey, my name is Brady Casper, and I'm bashing Shameless. Let me just start off saying I don't dislike the show, but I'm not the biggest fan of Shameless either. The plot takes place in Chicago and the South Side. There are five main characters. The first one is Frank. He is the father of six terrible children, which have been better off living in North Korea because at least they know if they are that shit anyways. He is a deadbeat, alcoholic, drug addict, and a man who would sell his own kids into slavery if he knew it would get him out of a tough situation. Frank bangs almost every available woman in his radius. For example, Sheila Jackson. He tried to marry her just so he could live in a better home away from his children. Next, Fiona Gallagher, eldest of Frank's legitimate children. She's a stereotypical mom in the situation. She is a high school dropout and gets menial jobs just to pay for rent and other bills around the house. She is prone to selfishness and sometimes needs a reminder to take account of her own happiness. Even though Fiona wants everything under control, she enjoys a little bit of chaos. Third, Lip Gallagher, the second oldest and far brightest. In high school, he was a straight A student, even though he attended one of the lower end schools in the city. Lip was always a con man, but one of his schemes is very beneficial to the family. For example, he takes money for his fellow students to take SATs. Outside of the classroom, Lip spends much of his time drinking beer and smoking weed, and eventually participates in car theft schemes with his friend Jimmy. Lip has a strong bond with his brother Ian, who he eventually finds out is gay, which just keeps them even more united. And he has a fling with multiple girls throughout the series, especially Karen Jackson. 4. Ian Gallagher. He is the third child and is very military oriented. He is bipolar like his mother and is gay. Debbie Gallagher is the middle child and is the sister you wish you never had. The director, when he was casting, was not looking for a good actress. He was looking for the worst human being he could possibly find to fit this role. And last, Carl Gallagher, a badass sibling who acts ghetto but is the comic relief throughout the entire series. Carl is often in trouble at school for attacking other students. In his early years, he displayed several psychopathic tendencies, such as mutilating toys and killing stray animals. Okay, so there's a bunch of things wrong with the show. Just off the top of my head, though, Frank and Monica, which were married, have a black child. Yeah, a black child, Liam, and they have genetically tested it. It is theirs. 2. Frank should have died from alcohol poisoning a long time ago. The man consumes more than an entire Alabama fraternity in the span of an hour. Another one is the Gallagher kids really don't have jobs to pay for their house, which doesn't make sense because they've been living in it for at least 15 years. 4. Fiona should have a kid or STD by now. Excuse my French. I have never heard of someone being this bad. She has had 4 husbands, 3 serious boyfriends, and many more Tinder swipe hookups in the span of 6 seasons than anyone I've ever met. 5. Frank should be dead for more than alcohol-related diseases. He has jumped off buildings, dodged bullets, and cheated cancer. If this man wasn't such a degenerate, you can convince me he was a superhero. 6. Frank getting a liver. No hospital in their right mind would ever give a drunk, jobless degenerate like Frank anything, especially move him up on the donor list to get a liver when he just ruins it. 7. Liam, a 2-year-old, did about half a brick of cocaine. If I did that, I would die. This little kid, which is 20 pounds soaking wet, survived. 8. Liam was traded for a gambling debt for less than $1,000. No father in the right mind, regardless of who they are, would trade their kid for that little price. 9. It's seemingly unlikely, but the IRS bought that Aunt Ginger, which is dead, Frank's aunt, was dead, so they mailed the checks to him. 10. When diagnosed with cancer, Frank tracked down his eldest daughter, which was from a different woman than every other child. He had 2 dates with her. 2 dates. This is Chicago, not West Virginia. And that is it.